Of all the wheeled tank destroyers that occupy the agenda of modern armies today, the Centauro is one of the most notable. The vehicle is an exemplary system in this field with its development model and successful design. As the weapon detective, we are investigating the B1 and B2 variants of the Centauro, the Italian style of modern cavalry. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel before we start and give us a thumbs up if you like our video. To be notified of our new video, please click the bell button. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. The Centauro is not the only example of its type, but it may be the most remarkable. The vehicle is the product of the best synthesis of the French and South African experiences. Its B2 variant is the most powerful wheeled tank destroyer. Before our analysis, let's take a look at the history, design features, and operational use of the Centauro. During the First Cold War, Italy didn't share any border with the Warsaw Pact. But it was obvious that in a possible Third World War, the communist armies would eventually pass over Austria and threaten the Italian soil. Also, Yugoslavia and Albania would possibly join the USSR in the death-of-life war between the communist and the free world. So, the Italian army concentrated its best armored units in the north, while its M47 Patton tanks were waiting to defend the Adriatic coast against possible amphibious landings. They were also tasked to protect the rear of the main elements of the Italian army deployed near Gorizia against enemy's airborne divisions. But they were now obsolete and slow. In 1984, the Italian army required a new land system to replace the M47s. In those years, the Soviet naval infantries used the PT-76 light tanks and the T-55 main battle tanks, while the Soviet airborne divisions used the BMD armored vehicles. A 105mm gun and low ballistic protection would be sufficient for such vehicles. The mobility was crucial for the Italian army. Therefore, a wheeled vehicle design would be more suitable. In case of a surprise amphibious or airborne attack, the Italian army would quickly deploy its wheeled tank destroyers to the required area. The aim was to gain time by countering and stopping the enemy's first attack. After that, by using the time gained, the army would deploy the tanks to the area for a counterattack. During the study phase, the Italians examined the French and South African experiences. The South African National Defense Force had been using the wheeled tank destroyers for the long-range raids in Southwest Africa and Angola. Using these valuable experiences, the South Africans began to develop the Rooikat. The Rooikat was not simply a wheeled tank destroyer and reconnaissance vehicle. It was a wheeled tank. The 76mm gun of the vehicle was highly effective against most of the Soviet armor, including T-55 and T-62 tanks. The Rooikat had better ballistic protection than the other wheeled tank destroyers of the time. This 8x8 vehicle had a higher cross-country mobility than the 6x6 ones. The AMX-10RC was not a wheeled tank, but the vehicle had proved itself in low-intensity conflicts and tactical reconnaissance missions, so its ballistic protection was relatively weak. Different from the Rooikat, it had a 105mm gun, which was more effective against the Soviet tanks from a longer range. So, the Italian engineers decided to use the best features of the AMX-10RC and the Rooikat. This was a wise decision. The program management model was also wise. The Italian defense companies worked together instead of competing with each other. This way, Italy has ensured the continuity of its national defense industry. Iveco was the main contractor and developed the hull and the automotive components. Oto was responsible for the turret and weapon system. Galileo Avionica developed the electronic systems. Besides the Centauro, these Italian defense companies developed three other vehicles: the Ariete main battle tank, the Dardo infantry fighting vehicle, and the Puma multi-role light armored vehicle. All of them was sharing as many subsystems as possible. So, design, development, unit and lifecycle costs have been significantly reduced. Of course, there was a disadvantage of this development model. The Ariete and the Dardo are considered inferior to their modern counterparts. Yet, the Centauro has become the best in its class. Between 1987 and 1998, 9 prototypes were produced for the Centauro program. After trials, some improvements were made. The Centauro became operational in 1991. The Italian Army received a total of 400 B1 Centauro in 3 batches. The third and the last batch of the vehicle, from 251 to 400 means, is 22 centimeters longer than the others. So, they can carry 4 infantries. Italy, Jordan, Oman, and Spain are the users of the B1 Centauro. The 4-person crew of the B1 Centauro consists of the commander, driver, gunner, and loader. It is 8.56 meters long, 3.05 meters wide, and 2.74 meters high. The combat weight of the vehicle is 25 tons. The 520 horsepower Iveco VTCA V6 turbocharged diesel engine provides a maximum road speed of 105 km per hour. The range of the B1 Centauro is 800 km. The vehicle can negotiate 0.5 meter vertical steps, 1.2 meter trenches, and can fort to a depth of 1.2 meters. It has a 105mm rifled gun as well as 2 7.62mm MG4259 machine guns. Thanks to the commander's stabilized day sight, the B1 Centauro has hunter-killer engagement capability. Both the commander and gunner can engage the target. Thanks to its advanced fire control system, which is also fitted to the Ariete, the vehicle has a high first shot to hit ratio, and it can also engage low-flying helicopters. This tank destroyer is capable of firing on the move. However, in general use, the B1 Centauro fires stationary due to high recoil power of the main gun. The hull and turret of the B1 Centauro are of all-welded steel armor. The frontal arc protects against 20 to 25mm projectiles. The vehicle can withstand 12.7mm rounds all around. To increase survivability, the B1 Centauro is also equipped with laser warning receivers and smoke grenade launchers. Later on, these vehicles were fitted with the ROMR-A explosive reactive armor and passive add-on armors. The additional protection has increased the combat weight by 3,000 kilograms. The power pack of the vehicle can be replaced within 20 minutes. The B1 Centauro shifts to 6-wheel drive during high-speed long-range driving to improve fuel efficiency. The vehicle is fitted with independent hydropneumatic suspensions and central tire inflation system which provide high cross-country mobility. The Centauro has a turning radius of 9 meters. This is a pretty small turning radius for such a long-wheeled vehicle, and it improves maneuverability in narrow areas such as woods and streets. Different from original production models, the Omani B1 Centauros is equipped with a 120mm 45 caliber gun and a 650 horsepower engine. They can withstand 40mm armor-piercing rounds. This variant was also used as a testbed for the B2 Centauro. The B2 Centauro, also known as Centauro II, was developed for the Italian Army. Although the B1 Centauro was developed to defend Italy, after the end of the First Cold War, the Italian Army mostly used this vehicle in overseas operations. Therefore, protection against landmines and improvised explosive devices came to the fore. Besides, the 105mm gun of the B1 Centauro was now obsolete against modern armor. The B2 Centauro was developed to solve these shortcomings. The first prototype of this vehicle was completed in 2015. As the only user of the B2 Centauro, Italy has taken the vehicle in its inventory in 2019. The 4-person crew of the B2 Centauro consists of the commander, driver, gunner, and loader. It is 8.26 meters long, 3.12 meters wide, and 3.62 meters high. The combat weight of the vehicle is 30 tons. The 720 horsepower Iveco Vector 8V Euro 3 diesel engine provides a maximum road speed of 105 km per hour. The range of the B2 Centauro is 800 km. The vehicle can negotiate 0.6 meter vertical steps, 2 meter trenches, and can fort to a depth of 1.5 meters. It has a 120mm smoothbore main gun as well as one 12.7mm and one 7.62mm machine guns. The hull is welded steel and the turret is welded aluminum. The B2 Centauro is resistant to 20 to 25mm rounds at the front and 12.7mm at the sides. With additional composite armors, the ballistic protection can be increased to withstand 40mm armor-piercing rounds at the front and 14.5mm ammunition at the sides. The crew compartment is reinforced with Kevlar spall liners. The vehicle has a laser warning receiver and an electronic jammer. The 120mm gun is supported by a specially developed muzzle brake to reduce recoil. The B2 Centauro has an automatic loader with 6 ready-to-use ammunition. However, there is also a loader crew member. The loader transfers the ammunition from the hull to the autoloader. Also, in case of autoloader malfunction, this crew member can feed the main gun. Like its predecessor, the B2 Centauro has hunter-killer engagement capability. The vehicle can open fire within 30 seconds after detecting the target. The 12.7mm machine gun is placed in the Itrole remote control weapon station. The Italian army used its B1 Centauro in a real combat environment for the first time in Somalia. These vehicles performed approximately 8,400 kilometers of reconnaissance patrol missions without serious problems. The B1 Centauros have also been deployed in the former Yugoslavia, Iraq, and Lebanon. Especially the B2 Centauro is highly resistant against landmines and improvised explosive devices. It is even better than the Rooikat in this field. On the other hand, other available wheel tank destroyers in the world do not offer real protection against such threats. The ballistic protection of the B2 Centauro is the best in its class. It is the only operational wheel tank destroyer which has a bigger gun than a 105mm. With its state-of-the-art fire control system, the B2 Centauro can deal with the modern main battle tanks while the others cannot. Since the early 1990s, the Centauro family has set the standards of wheel tank destroyers. Many modern vehicles in this field have similar design criteria. Don't you think that saying goodbye to the M1128 mobile gun system, which doesn't meet these criteria, indicates how successful Centauro is? Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up if you liked our video. To be notified of our new videos, please click the bell button. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel.